Up until now, there was never a Nexus tablet. There were Nexus phones, but no tablet. The Motorola Xoom, for example, was a 10-inch tablet running stock Android, but it's not a Nexus. And the Asus Transformers run a very close version of stock Android, but not exactly, and they're not Nexuses. So when Google announced a tablet, they made a few very curious decisions behind the scenes and came up with this, the Nexus 7. The 8GB Nexus 7 costs $200. You know what else costs $200? The 8GB iPod Touch. Okay, so that gives you a good idea of the bang for buck that you get out of this guy. And that bang comes from a 1.3 GHz quad-core Tegra 3 chip and 1GB of RAM, all behind the scenes powering Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. Now, I'm not going to restate all of the reasons why Android 4.1 is so awesome, but there's an annotation and a link below to my video covering all of the best new features of the operating system, but most notably during my time with the device, Project Butter. As I spend more time with it, I've actually noticed it's more universal around the entire operating system than I first thought it was. People always demonstrate it just by swiping around the launcher, between home screens and through the app tray, but it's even inside of apps too. So scrolling through websites in Chrome, turning pages in books, and navigating through apps, the overall touch response everywhere just makes it seem super fast. And that's going to keep the tablet feeling newer longer. And I'm not even much of a gamer, but even the games I played seem to perform better and at higher frame rates thanks to Butter. Now the apps. The apps are very important when talking about the Nexus 7. A lot of people will criticize it saying Android still lacks tablet apps, which can be true, but thanks to the smaller 7-inch display and the resolution, it handles phone-optimized apps just as well as it handles tablet-optimized apps. So it's kind of like a hybrid between the two, and lets you get a peek into the best of both worlds. Now, not all apps are compatible with Android 4.1 yet, so if your favorite third-party app isn't compatible, send an email to that developer. And there are some pretty sweet new apps being updated to take advantage of the 7-inch screen, so that's pretty cool. One thing that's also different with the larger display, since it's a 7-inch tablet, is notifications. And Google's created an interesting spin-off of the regular Android phone's pull-down notifications. The pull-down tray here doesn't take up the whole screen. It's just in the center when you're in portrait mode. And you get all that neat new stuff with expandable notifications that Google has baked into Android 4.1. Some very useful stuff in here, neat features, and third-party apps can also take advantage of these expandable notifications. But the neat thing is, once you go into landscape, it shifts over to the left-hand side. So you can actually still kind of see what's going on in the background, which is nice. And you'll notice, though, that the Nexus 7 does go back to feeling like a large phone when it doesn't let you rotate the home screen into landscape. So like some of the bigger tablets out there, they go straight to landscape, but the Nexus 7 doesn't let you rotate the home to landscape mode just yet. Overall, though, if you're concerned about the 7-inch form factor not feeling large enough to be different from your phone, trust me, it is. For example, after using the Galaxy S3 for about a month, the current iPhone seemed like this. I'm going from a 7-inch tablet back down to a 4.8-inch phone. It has a similar effect. I still use the Nexus 7 as a one-handed device though, but that may just because I have huge hands, not really sure. Either way, I mentioned at the beginning of the video that it's a $200 tablet, and we've seen some pretty crappy $200 tablets in terms of build quality, but this one's fine, trust me. To keep it thin like this, it's sealed into one rigid design, so you have to twist it really hard to get it to flex. And this also means no expandable storage or replaceable battery, but no worries about the battery. The 4325 mAh battery lasts plenty long, easily a full 2 days of regular use. There's no camera on the back of the Nexus 7, but let's face it, it's a tablet. You don't really need it, but there is a front-facing camera and plenty of apps in the Play Store that can take advantage of it. The only gripe I have about the exterior was the placement of these buttons. Yes, it's a one-handed device, but that doesn't mean you have to put all the buttons on one side. I found myself blindly reaching to turn the volume up on a YouTube video, and I pressed the power button right next to it instead, which turned the screen off. So that's a little bit annoying, but I would have liked to see the power and volume buttons a little bit further apart. Oh, and that plastic back does help Wi-Fi reception. It's almost always full strength, like a mouse. And a small touch is the elongated speaker on the back, which makes it really difficult to block the whole thing accidentally. And the display on the front, while it isn't a Retina display or anything crazy like that, is $200. It's more than 200 pixels per inch at 1280 by 720, and it looks damn impressive anyway. Now it's Wi-Fi only, and this one happens to be 8GB, and that's a bad combo if you're one of those people who's away from Wi-Fi all the time and wants to save stuff for offline use. Which is why I'm thinking go with the 16GB. or there may be something along the lines of a Nexus 10, perhaps with a cellular radio, somewhere in the near future. So in the end, is the Nexus 7 a good product? Is it worth the $200? For this 8 gig version here, Google spends about $200 to make it and then sells it for about $200. But they're trusting that you will spend enough time in the Google Play Store on this device to start giving Google more money and make it worth itself. They even give you a $25 credit to the Google Play Store, so once you go through that Google Play credit, you run out of the $25 maybe a couple hours after you get it, or a couple of days or a couple of months. But once you finally run out of that free credit, you're going to start spending money on apps, books, movies, games, TV shows, and all kinds of things like that, and that'll hopefully be giving Google a lot more money than when you originally purchased this tablet. That's what they're banking on, and that's why they made a Nexus tablet for the Google Play Store. All the ads you see for the Nexus are talking about the fact that this is built for the Google Play Store, and that's exactly why. They even give you a free copy of, like I showed you, the Transformers Dark of the Moon movie, hoping that you'll enjoy the experience so much that you'll want to buy more movies in the Google Play Store and give Google more money. Overall though, I was interested in what they were going to come up with for the first Nexus tablet because there was no Nexus tablet before this. There was a Motorola Xoom, which also happens to be stock, but this is the first Nexus tablet and they decided to go with a 7-inch form factor, and that sort of intrigued me, but I turned out to like it a lot. So what do you guys think? If you enjoyed this video review, feel free to give it a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and you can see I'm probably already answering the comments down there, so open conversation to talk about the Nexus 7. Either way, thanks for watching this video, hope you enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next one. Thank you for watching, talk to you later. Peace.